All right. Oh, what's going on, everyone? Episode 22. I'm not even a host. I'm not. Yo, listen. I'm just I'm a co-host, y'all. Happy Women's History Month. Uh Miss Wisdom, Phonetic Wisdom, please introduce yourself, what you do. She's the host, y'all. She's the host for the month. I'm just a spectator. I'm just a spectator. Come on, come talk to her, Miss Phonetic Wisdom.
You're hilarious. Okay, y'all. Hey, it's me, your girl, Phonetic Wisdom. Yes, I'm from Queens, New York, 5 Rockaway. I am a host, poet, event curator, founder of a Black women's empowerment organization known as Voices of Black Power. I'm going to drop a poetry book this year. I'm working on a documentary, both also going to be known as Voices of Black Power. So creating a whole franchise from that. But Voices of Black Power is really me, fulfilling my mission's purpose towards supporting Black women who have been impacted by sexual abuse and trauma. But I actually have decided recently to kind of like reinvent that initial intention more so to, support women of the African diaspora, more specifically, who've been impacted by the African diaspora, because that the phrase Black, even African, I can go so much deeper about how those terms have been used against us politically. I won't go there tonight. Nonetheless, recognizing that I'm a part of a people who have been separated from their culture, their language, their history, their traditions, and their customs, and tapping into the deeper trauma of that, which has brought forth other traumas, and really transmuting that trauma into triumph by offering my sisters the right resources and tools. Because the way I see it is, uplifting those women and protecting those women and instilling knowledge of self in those women is going to do that for our men and ultimately create a better world. So yes, that is what I do. I'm also a financial advisor. I help people get affordable legal services. I am a oracle reader. I do quite a few things. So,
Talk about it. Your Instagram, social media, how we get
mhm,
you, so everything.
so Instagram, Phonetic Wisdom, Twitter, Phonetic Wisdom. Do I have TikTok? I think I have TikTok, which is also Phonetic Wisdom. I have not been on that thing. Yeah, I'm working on my website right now, so that is soon to come. I've actually kind of been like a little stressed out because I go by Phonetic Wisdom and then I have Voices of Black Power. So I'm like, should I create a Phonetic Wisdom website and then attach Voices of Black Power to it, or just have two different websites, or have one big website that leads to, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I was going through a rabbit hole with that. But yeah, if y'all follow it on Instagram, y'all get access to everything else because the link in my bio is gonna lead you to everything else that I'm focused on and I'm doing.
Oh, let's go. You already know. Oh, let's go. Oh, come on. Come on, somebody.
Yes. Yeah,
Um, for 2 episodes, we haven't done the introduction. I miss the introduction. Miss
sorry.
Wisdom, is it okay if we do an introduction?
Come on, why are you playing with me? You know why we here. You know what we here to do. Like, no, 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 no.
let's go.
Don't
Let's
do
go.
this. Don't do it.
Let's go. All right.
No.
Episode 22. All right.
Yes.
Like I said, we talk about ingredients and exposing you know, foods, you know, and everything. And if you have been consistent in the podcast, I want to say that now it's time. Like this is the stuff you should be asking yourself, right? While you watch and listen, ask yourself this: what I put in my body, is this going to benefit me or is this going to harm me? Ask yourself that question, okay? Because some things we eat, especially in artificial flavors, natural flavors, and all of that stuff we eat. Just like TC said in the last episodes, it's a guilty pleasure. Yes, it is. But you are what you eat. And always remember that your body, your body is your temple. So again, you are what you eat. So whatever you eat, just remember whatever you're eating out, whatever you're getting from the grocery store, it affects your brain, it affects your body and your gene. So most of your DNA is in your blood cells. Okay? I'm going to say this again. My body is a temple. Okay? Miss Phonetic, any questions, comments, concern, or anything before we get started on the ingredients?
Um, I mean, I think you said a great deal of what needs to be said and what people need to really, realize is not just a cliche phrase, it's the reality. Your body is your temple. And so would you want shit in your temple? You gotta ask yourself that. No, like just keeping it 100. And like knowing that you are what you eat. You spoke about the brain, your mind, the body, DNA. That's your part of your spirit, right? And I love that you brought up the fact that it impacts your DNA because as you know, I've told you plenty of times that I am a part of like a sister circle where I call it a womb circle, and we're all about healing. And so what it's called the Aboriginal Womb Circle, and the kind of like, I guess you would say, tagline or the catchphrase intention is activating ancestral DNA.
Let's
And so
go.
one of the things that, my sis really emphasizes and makes sure that she incorporates is healthy, holistic eating,
Mm.
because it can change your DNA for better. You can clean your DNA, or you can make filth of your DNA. But just know that you're going to pass that along if you so choose to have kids. Like, this is what you're going to be giving to your child, whether it be, how and and you know what, also being mindful, like they do say, conditions can be hereditary, but I think that only in the sense of your grandparent had it, your great grandparent had it, your great great grandparent had it, because they kept eating in a way that activated that gene. And so if you were going to eat to your detriment, then yes, you are going to activate the negative aspects of your DNA. But if you eat for living, if you eat to live, if you eat holistically, you'll be activating your DNA for health, for life, for
Oh, come on.
abundance.
Oh, come on. Say that again, what you just said. Oh, my God. That was balls.
Honestly, that was spirit. I don't even know if I know what I said. Like, honestly, the spirit just be coming through. People don't really know. Like, I don't even. It's not even me. Like, it's the spirit coming
Oh,
through. Like, what's up? Like, I'm just a
whew.
vessel,
Oh,
and
let's
that's
go.
why what you eat is important. Because I'm telling you, what I was eating, like, vegan, like raw food, the messages was coming through so clear. My intuition, my creativity. It's just like it's almost as good as fasting, because
Yep.
the proper food is going to go in your body, it's going to come out your body. And a
Yep.
lot of the bad foods that people eat, it gets stuck in there and calcifies and makes you heavy, makes you tired, and makes you overweight. I can go on for days. Don't let me do it.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. You, come on. We got
No,
time.
I'm dead serious. Like, I could really like go off on a tangent. I have to catch myself before I start to go off on a tangent, because we could start talking about pennies right now, and then the next minute we talk about ancient alien files. Like, I don't know how we got there, but it happens.
Well, just remember that our ancestors, before they've been enslaved in Africa,
Hmm.
they was originally they was eating they had a plant-based diet before they
Hmm.
was forced to eat meat.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's actually right here in this book, Queen of Fua.
Oh,
This is
come
her
on.
Sacred Woman book, a guide. Because I keep talking about this book. This book has really changed my life. A guide to healing the feminine mind, body, and spirit. And she starts with how the I think Asian nomadics invaded what they call Africa, which was named after a white man. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really
Africanus.
Alkebulon.
Africanus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Africa is really supposed to be Alkebulon, and Egypt's really Kemet. Nonetheless, I don't want to digress again, but she definitely puts it in here that our ancestors ate vegetarian because they understood the importance of the food that you put into the body and the connection to the spirit. Now, I don't know if I'm going to find it right now while we're talking, but I know it's one of the first things she put in here. And I was like, oh, okay, sis, she gave us the history lesson before she told us to stop eating that stuff. Like, real talk.
Oh, okay. You giving the audience already for the gems you dropping. What's the book and the author so people could just Google this.
Oh, yeah. Queen, it's Queen Afua right here. Queen of Afua. And it's called Sacred Woman. She even has a book for men too. And it's a guide to healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit. She puts it here. And yeah, that's one of the first things she said, that there was Asian nomadic invaders and they brought, meat. And when we ate it, we basically, defiled ourselves.
Mm,
And I think like people can take it personal, and I get it because that's the ego. The ego wants to hold on to what it's used to. But at the same time, if we're talking about spirit, spirit is a thing that you can't see, right? You can't see it, you can't really touch it, but you can feel it. And so we know that it's a vibration. And
oh,
so we
come on.
know that things that are on a high vibration, you can't really see, you can't touch, but you can feel. So eating these heavy foods, these animal foods, these dense foods, you're lowering your vibration.
Mm,
You're preventing yourself from tapping into the source, to spirit,
yes.
to the universe, whatever you want to call it. But this is how deep it is, you know?
Oh, come on. Come on. That's the come on, she just said it. That this is the and this is where I talk about it affects your brain, it affects your body. Okay? It affects the way how you behave. Remember
Mm-hmm.
when I said in the other episodes about that yellow 5, blue 1? Come
Mm-hmm.
on. That's in
Yeah.
our children's food.
Yeah.
And come on, we can go on and on, but we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
continue. We're gonna continue going on. So one thing about like I get in a personal level, right? And these are for the people that really follow, that the healthy life, um, especially in the hood. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get those. Um, oh, so how much you spend in the grocery store for 3 hours just for reading nutrition facts and labels? I get that. Oh yeah, I get that.
Can I
Oh,
debunk that? Can I debunk
uh-huh.
that before you even
Uh-huh.
go further? Okay, so y'all people full of shit. I'm sorry, not sorry. The only reason why eating holistically would cost you a lot of money is because you still think that because you eat, so a lot of people eat, they don't realize the way that they're eating or been trained to eat. They eat empty calories. They eat food with no nutrition. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you eat food with nutrition, you become used to it, you will realize that you don't need as much food as you was used to consuming to fulfill you. But people are still attached to the amount of food that they ate. So they think if they eat less that they're not eating enough or they're going to be hungry. It's really psychological. So you're really addicted, and the chemicals that are in some of these foods are addictive. And so
Yep.
you've been convinced by your own mind and by the food that you've eaten that you need more than you really need, which is not true. But I've definitely gone shopping, and it's all about knowing how to shop too.
And
I've been a
plan.
believer. Yes,
Plan.
yeah, people need to learn how to start going back to the old way because this food is a lot of this food is artificial now. Nonetheless, you do not have to spend a lot of food to eat holistically. People just want to substitute, and I did this when I first started my journey. I started getting mad fake meats. You do not need that because even too much of that is not good for you. And so really just understanding that you're going to go through withdrawals. Y'all was on crack food and you're cracked out and you're going through the shakes. You're really not
Okay.
that hungry.
See, I'm not that raw, y'all. I'm not that raw like Miss Poetic Wisdom is. Okay, I don't sugarcoat, but she giving it to you raw.
But
Okay.
I'm keeping it real because I was the crackhead. I stopped eating meat for a minute and then I went back to it. And then I saw like, oh, like I'm on that shit. Like I'm on that stuff.
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
And so I can speak about it because I've been through it and I stopped and then I went back to it. And so I know my body knows what it's hitting for. Like, no.
exactly. And also in the hood, you get those. Oh, you eat healthy now? Word? Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
I was one of
Oh,
those too.
oh, you eat health. Oh, you eating that salad now? Oh, okay. What happened to that bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich? Oh, okay. All right.
It's cool to eat bad. Like I like so
Right?
I'm wrong because I'm trying to do better by myself and my family.
That's facts. Come on.
Oh, okay. I get it. You trying to make me feel bad because you don't want to do better. I ain't judging you,
Oh,
but
come
let
on.
me like
Oh, let's go. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. All right. We're going to get started. It's time to get this knowledge, people. All right. So let me share my screen. All right. Okay. So we're going to first talk about cellulose gum. Okay. All right. All right. Miss Wisdom, can you see it?
oh yeah, I see that crack.
Oh, here we go.
Look at the food.
All right.
Look at that food crack.
Cellulose gum ingredient. So this is not a whole ingredient. This is an adjective. This is an additive. Okay. So it is to improve shelf life. It thickens food and creamy without the fat. So it can help low fat diet. But cellulose gum can help make you feel less deprived. So this is versatile. Okay. So cellulose gum also is in toothpaste, pharmaceuticals, and household products. Okay. So when you get the ingredients, right, you see it here, cellulose gum, your dietary fiber, it's benefit and it's risky at the same time. So this is what I studied. Like I said, guys, this is in a simple Google research. Cellulose gum is not healthy for some foods, especially in artificial foods. It can benefit if it's a vegan food, but some people get allergic reactions or sensitive to cellulose gum. So cellulose gum does not have any nutrients value to the useful of an additive. So it can create texture and better taste. So another thing about cellulose gum is that like the options, right? It's in ice cream, packaged food, and it's also in vegetables. The canned vegetables and beans. So yeah, that's it about cellulose gum. Uh, Phonetic wisdom. Talk to me.
Well, okay. Once you said there was no nutritional value, it was kind of like, okay, this is like the girl that has long hair that goes and buys a wig that's long hair. Like,
Oh,
what's the
okay.
point? Like, so what was that about?
Mm,
Okay.
mm. All right.
And
Let's
I'm
get.
sure
Oh, go
there's
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Speak your
sorry,
piece.
did you get to go through all of this? Because I see something that look like a prison number, like an inmate number. CI 77891.
That's because it comes out of a can. That's you get the aqua hydrated. So come on,
So I
sodium
get some can in my food.
triso yeah, trisodium phosphate. We
Can
already
you
know what that is.
imagine being on the corner, be like, yo, I got that CI 77891, bro. I got that CI 77891. They gonna
Yeah,
think.
I can't. I can't. All right.
I got that trisodium phosphate, bro. I got that trisodium phosphate.
Yo, that's
I
facts. Come
don't
on.
know. Some
You know, back in the day, we used to be like, yo, I got that Dr. Pepper. Now let me stop.
you know what I'm
Let me
saying?
stop.
Like some don't sound too kosher over there.
All right. All right, let's continue. Okay. So monosodium glutamate. I hope I'm saying this right. Glutamate.
Yeah.
MSG. AKA sodium glutamate, which is this is a MSG. You see it in Doritos.
Damn, Dorito.
you, so monosodium glutamate is in Chinese food, canned vegetables, soup, and processed foods. Okay. So MSG is another food additive, and it's just a flavor to the food, and it is linked. Hold on. It is linked with obesity, metab. Hold on. Hold on. It is linked with obesity, metabolic disorders, Chinese food restaurant syndrome. I'm not lying. I am not. Yo, what's the word? I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. You can Google this right now as I'm speaking to you.
Googling the Chinese restaurant syndrome right now.
Chinese food restaurant syndrome, and you got neurotoxicity effects and detrimental effects in your organs. Okay, on everything. I'm not making this up. MSG, you can say monosodium glutamate, cause asthma and headaches. Okay, so it derives from amino acid, or you could say glutamate acid. So glutamate acid is just a non-essential amino acid which can produce your body in almost majority of the foods. So chemically, MSG is a crystal powder that resembles table salt and sugar, so which it combines the sodium and glutamate acid. So as for the glutamate acid, MSG, it's made from fermented starches and it's no different from other MSGs. Okay. So we're going to get to that later. Okay. For MSG, which is another for the taste of it is which is umami. It's a basic taste, which is in salt, sour, butter, and sweet taste. Okay. So glutamate acid studies are saying this is neurotransmitted in your brain. Okay. So it consuming the glutamate and increasing can cause activity brain harm, and large doses can raise your blood vessels. Can raise your blood levels. So too much MSG can raise your blood levels. Okay. Now, as for the dietary glutamate, that's different as little effects or no effects to your brain. Now, MSG syndrome complex, as you see on the screen, it give come on. I don't want to scare. Hold on. I don't want to scare nobody. Okay, I don't want to scare nobody. Okay, so it's a simple research. Once again, people, this is a simple Google research. It gives you headaches, muscle tightness, numbness, tingling, weakness, and flush. Okay, I'm not done yet. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Also, consuming a very high dose of MSG, it can overall, like too much of it can really give you harm. It can give you bad reaction and allergic reactions. So as soon as you consume it, but if you're sensitive to this, I would avoid MSG. Okay. But if you want to taste the MSG, and if you get a little reactions or no reactions, then you can eat it. Okay. I'm just here to let you be conscious about it. So monosodium glutamate generally is in processed foods, low quality foods, and yeah, that's it. So junk food, of course. So I would say either limit eating this or just don't eat it at all. That's all I gotta say. Oh, you see her face?
When you said crystal powder, I heard crystal meth, the food form. You said it affects your neurotransmitters. I heard neurotoxins.
Yes. Yes, it
Then you
does.
said, oh, don't take much to read between the lines, baby. You said low quality food, processed food, fake food. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. Fake food, food like, which is not food.
Hmm?
Uh, so it's really not. It doesn't add value to the body or the mind. So it definitely not adding it to the spirit. And because
Mm,
we want to live a holistic life, we want to do as much as we can to get ourselves off this drug
mm,
because it's a drug.
mm. See, you raw
People,
with it.
yeah,
Mm,
people would know, like, like people gotta understand, like anything could be a drug. So
mm.
food is the biggest drug they sell it to us. That's why Michelle Obama was like, okay, I'm a spearhead nutrition because y'all niggas overweight.
Oh,
Obesity
okay. You
is
brought that up.
killing y'all.
Oh,
But can't we appreciate that there was a first lady that was really like, really was like, no, nutrition is really an issue though. Like who else
facts.
did
It
like who
is.
else did that?
Come
That's
on now.
the and that is so simple and it's so powerful. Like you said, how you eat, it affects how you behave because it affects your thoughts. So how you
Yes.
think, your how you think is going to be how you behave. Well, how you think is how you act, how you act is how you behave. Whichever one comes before doesn't even matter, but it's all in alignment. And even in this book that I was showing about Queen Afua with Sacred Woman, she'll tell you what foods contribute to what state of mind. Like when she says sugar created a state of oppression, I thought that was ironic because they'll it's been characterized as if it's something that gives you like excitement or a boost, and it actually makes you feel depressed. And I
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
I
I
was in a
heard.
book like,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I
Mm-hmm.
was like, no, she didn't just check me. How am I supposed to go on thinking sweetness is really sweet?
It's an addiction. Okay.
And yeah, like what? Oh, this book is a gem. Like, hold up, I'm gonna give you another one before I go, because I think
Okay. Okay. Before we
food.
bring our guests. Before we bring our guests. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. I got you. Hold up. It was okay. Boom. So flesh foods. She says create a state. The oppressed state is anger.
Mm,
Sugar. The oppressed state is depression, anger, frustration, mood swings. Uh, for dairy products, uh, the emotional and social disease is loneliness, feeling unloved, unfulfilling relationships, sticky relationships with either parent, especially your mother. I was like, well, how the hell she gonna read my life because of how I eat? So she just be looking at people's plates, knowing their whole life. Like,
wow.
okay. Um, white flour products, emptiness in your life, lack of fulfillment, boredom. That's true. Because when I be eating them white crackers, I just be looking for something to do. Um,
Listen,
pork,
listen, listen, y'all. Listen.
and like this is, and she's coming to this from a spiritual viewpoint, but like I said, the book is about mind, body, spirit, so it's all connected because this is the mental state, because everything is from the mind. So once it creates that mental state, that's going to impact your spirit, the spirit of your being. And i I've said all I can say.
Oh, there you got it. Oh man, listen. I feel like we need a whole. I feel like we need to bring back but I feel like we need to bring back what's her name? Miss veganism? Ve- what's her name?
Veganese, Vanessa from the
Veganese,
Veganese.
yes. Yo, we need to bring back Vanessa, okay?
Yeah,
We we need to,
I
oh
love
my
you.
God. Yo, I know she gonna drop, oh my God. Yo, that's all
Well,
be oh yo.
we have another guest for today, actually.
Mm, that's right.
Yeah.
Women's
So,
empowerment. There we go. Yo, we gonna bring them up. All right, y'all.
hey, welcome back to Diamond Cash Incentives Podcast with Diamond Cash, and I'm your host for today, Phonetic Wisdom, also known as Sabrina Parker. And yes, we have a wonderful sister here with us for Women's History Month, X'Zandria Weil. I got that right? I said
X'Zandria Weil.
Weil. Okay, X'Zandria Weil. X'Zandria Weil. I was close. I was like practicing how to say it, and then I forgot that I knew how to say it. But it's all love, right? So yes, we are in for a wonderful episode today. I'm really excited. Women's History Month, and we definitely want to, give the platform and give our sisters the opportunity to speak on, their purpose and their passion and what is empowering them as women. And so we're going to get into that today. Did you want to add anything, Diamond, to that before we get into it?
Hey, happy Women's History Month. This is y'all podcast. Y'all take it over. I'm just spectating.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself. So yes, like I said, I go by Phonetic Wisdom. My name is Sabrina Parker, though, and I'm a poet, a spoken word artist. I've curated events, host events. I have my own organization, which I finally registered like a few days ago, y'all, and it just went through. So yes, we are legitimate now. Voices of
So
Black. Yes, it's a Black women's empowerment organization. So I started that organization for sisters who have been impacted by sexual abuse and trauma. Now I started that May 2018, and I did that with a artistic showcase because I know how difficult it is for us as women, especially Black women, to speak about our trauma, especially coming from a community and a history where we're discouraged from speaking about things of that nature. And I realized how detrimental it is to our society for us to not really be able to confront these difficult realities of our lives. And so I started Voices of Black Power. And so, yes, I finally registered today. I'm looking forward to, supporting other sisters in their journey as they elevate mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, what have you. I really want to be like a mentor and a coach to our women. I want to continue to, do showcases. I did a workshop for the first time a few months ago. It was really successful. It was called the Unification of the Divine Feminine to, really bring together what I would say the conventional and the unconventional, the known and the unknown, the acceptable and the quote unquote taboo. And so doing that so that we can really tap into our mind, bodies, and spirit because we're in a very different time right now. And so that was something that I did. I just wanted to give y'all a little insight. If y'all are just tuning in, if y'all are new, also for Xandria as well, because you've never met me and I've never met you. So I just want you to feel comfortable with me saying here, share my purpose and what I do as well. And so, yes, I want to give you an opportunity to share something about yourself right now.
All right, thank you. First of all, I want to apologize if y'all hear my dog barking in the background because she picked the right time to bark. So, my name is X'Zandria, and I've been doing this thing where I introduce myself using Reiki, where I learned that from, I don't know if you all know her, Louvae, Luvvie. And so I'm going to introduce myself like that. I wrote it down. So I'm X'Zandria of House of Weil, first of her name, favorite of God, queen of resilience, overcomer of obstacles, inciter of self-love and self-celebration, empower, I don't know if this is a word, empowerer of Black women and youth in foster care, and builder of confidence. And when I say that, I just feel like I'm empowering myself. So that's how I like to introduce myself.
I love that. What inspires you to take that route? Because I love how that, came off as like a daily mantra, like something you say when you wake up.
It's not something I say when I wake up. It should be, because when I say it, I feel good about myself. Like, damn, I'm the shit. So, I was watching a YouTube video about just being a disruptor, like breaking the rules positively. I can't think of what it was. And she said she introduces herself like this every time. And it's a Reiki. It's like you said, a mantra, amping yourself up for whatever you're about to do and go out into the world and do.
I love that. That's dope. Yeah, so where are you from? I'm hearing a slight twang in the voice.
I'm from Wisconsin.
Really? Okay.
What were you hearing though? What were you hearing?
I wasn't sure. I just knew it wasn't like New York. I almost thought it was the South, but then I didn't.
I was raised down south in West Memphis, Arkansas, so it might be a little of that accent too.
Okay, yeah. That's cool. Well, yeah, I'm from New York. My dad's from Georgia, and my mom is from Jamaica. So sometimes people tell me I have like a certain type of accent. I guess it just depends on what words and phrases I'm saying at any given point in time, though, if you know what I mean.
I hear your accent.
Oh, okay. We've clarified. But yeah, awesome. So I'm really excited to get into this with you. I was hoping that I would chance to read your free ebook so I can ask you some questions about before I got on here, because I did send you my email to send it to me. I've just been so busy, but I'm definitely gonna read it. And can you tell people about a little bit about your free book?
Well, I created my free ebook. It's like the 5 mistakes you can't afford to make on your self-discovery and self-love journey for Black women specifically. Yeah. And it's just talking about, it's literally a mini ebook. It's nothing too big. It's just talking about the mistakes I made while on my self-discovery journey, my self-love journey. What I wish I would have known in the beginning of me doing, like loving myself and taking care of myself and being selfish with me. So giving those tips to other Black women on their journey so they don't make the same mistakes, or a learned lesson that I made.
Yes. And definitely being mindful of pivoting from like the word mistakes to lessons, because I are, an empower and a woman of empowerment, lessons is just more empowering than mistakes, right? Because when we say it's a mistake, we feel bad. It's all like, oh, I messed up. And it's like, no,
true.
Learning, See, mistakes, messed up, lessons. I love how
Yep.
See, you inspire me already. I'm getting revelations right now. I'm sorry. Do y'all hear scratching in the background? Because my dog is going crazy.
I hear it, but it ain't bothering me.
A little.
You all good? You all good?
Yes, you are good.
Pressing me out. Hold down for a brief moment, Mr. Cash.
I definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with talk about more about your book specifically for Black women and what inspires you to to create that book.
I wanted to create that book because I wanted to share a piece of my story, what worked for me that I feel might work for other Black women. And I wanted to do specifically Black women because I feel like Black women sometimes don't celebrate themselves enough. At least for me, I was not celebrating myself enough. I wasn't loving on myself enough. And I feel like Black women are expected to carry the world they can't be fragile and vulnerable. So that's what inspired me to recreate the mini ebook and to also build my email list for future things that are coming up too. But that was my intention, was to empower, inspire, and get other Black women to celebrate themselves often. Because even with growing up, seeing my mom, I rarely ever saw her celebrate herself or just love on herself like I felt like she deserved. And I think that was just her being like, oh, I have to be a strong, which I hate this narrative, strong Black woman, and keeping herself together for her family. Like she didn't want us to see her vulnerable. But I still noticed it, like, come on, mama, you need to celebrate yourself sometime or love on yourself.
Let's go.
And yeah, I love that you just said that about the strong Black woman narrative. So I actually go to like a womb circle where my friend, she's a shaman, she's a priestess, and she has practiced with Queen Afua, who's a master healer, to basically help women tap back into the divine feminine power and heal the feminine mind, body, and spirit. And so yesterday we were focused on the heart chakra, and one of the things that she said was, we are done with the strong Black woman narrative. Like,
Yes.
cut it out. My heart is tender and it's sensitive, and really recognizing that we're not going to be masculinized anymore. Like, you're not going to make me a man. You be a man.
Right.
Okay. I don't need to be a strong Black woman. I am sensitive and I'm tender and I'm owning my femininity. And so that's, like, words are so powerful. The phrases that we constantly repeat
Mm-hmm.
or are indoctrinated with or are accustomed to saying are so important because they cast like a spell. And so we're breaking that spell.
Yes.
So yes, thank you definitely for touching on that, because I'm definitely 100% there with you on that. And I love what you said about, creating that ebook, like out of an intention to inspire and motivate sisters, and like letting that be a piece of you that you kind of offer up from the experiences and the journey that you already went through, and sharing that with other women. Like, I've been here, but we can go further, So I love that.
Thank you.
Yes, awesome. And the strategy of it. Like, I need to get my mailing list up, okay? If I can't reach the people, how are they going to get the information? So yes, we're here for you. Intelligent Black woman who is tender and sensitive. We see you. So yes, let me ask you one of the first questions. All right. So who are the women, who empowered and inspired you?
My mom will be first.
Yeah.
My grandmother. I'll just say all the Black women in my family. And then people that impacted me that I didn't know. Keviny Gilmore of #FosterCare. She's the one that got me to see, like, girl, you are it. You need to start acting like it. You need to develop a strong bone. Sade Burrell, like, she encourages me. I freaking love her book.
Let's go.
What Are You Reaching For? Like, she is one of the people that very inspired me a lot. Like, she's one of those people that inspired me to be my authentic self and don't change for anybody unless you're changing to elevate yourself. And don't forget about the Black community, like, bring them along, because she put me on to Powernomics, the book by Dr. Claude. And who else? Those are the two that I can think off top. My Black women in my family, and then the Sade Burrell, and then Keviny Gilmore.
Awesome. And how do you celebrate them? Like, how do you honor their memory?
Memories sound like they're dead.
Well, no, you know what? I'm very, very deep. So, like, I like to break down words and stuff. Like, remember, and in member, there's memory. And so you can still honor somebody's memory that they gave you from the past, even though you're not here with them in this present moment. What do you remember about them that would allow them to be someone who empowers and inspires you?
My mom, when I think about her being a single parent and like her getting through stuff and not letting me make excuses, but always pushing me to do more. Or what I say, more that more is out there for you. It's not just this. It's not just this. There's so much more out there, and you can get it. And my nickname is Moo, so she said you can get it, Moo. And then for Sade, it's her. For her, it's me. Like when she gives me tips or tells me things, I'm one of those people. If you tell me something or give me advice or point me in the direction of something, I want to use it. And I feel like if people give you tools to use or inspire you in some way, you should use that. Don't let it, what did you say, just sit in your mind. Like take something in and never utilize it. And then with Kevany, it's just like keep pushing forward. Turn your nose that you get into yeses. And knowing that nothing happens to me, it happens for me. And she's really the person that got me to change my wording, what I would say, put into the universe.
Yes, yes. And is that also what the book she recommended, Powernomics? Like elaborate more on?
Sade Burrell recommended Powernomics, and I like Powernomics because it talks about how you can build up the Black community's wealth. Just building up the Black community so we can have power. I guess you would say money-wise and wealth.
Yeah.
Dr. Claude Anderson. Absolutely. Yeah, she talked about that in January, definitely. When she was on the podcast. Yeah, she definitely recommended that. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Sade Burrell.
It's a very good book.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's definitely very important, cooperative economics and understanding our power as a collective, as a unit.
Yes.
And so I would definitely agree with that. Yes, awesome. And I did want to ask, like you said, your mom, seeing her be a single mom, that's one of the things that inspired you. And I want to kind of take it back to that strong Black woman narrative. Do you feel like seeing your mom be a single mom and doing whatever it is that she had to do, did that contribute to your internalization of the strong Black woman narrative?
Yeah, because she's one of those ones that was like, you're a strong Black woman too. When I was little, I want you to not depend on a man for anything. Like I was taking out the trash and my brother was taking out the trash. We switched days. So she definitely was putting like, you don't need to be dependent on no man for nothing into me and making me do, I guess you can say, men's work too. And also just seeing her do it too. So I do think she like put that narrative into me too, the strong Black woman.
Okay. And like, how do you feel like it's helped you or hurt you? Either or, because I think there's two sides to everything.
I think it hurt me because I struggle with asking for help. And I'm still learning, like, it's okay to ask for help. And I'm one of those ones, I just rather get it done by myself. I don't need anybody. So I definitely think that's a negative because it's nice. Because when I do eventually ask for help, it's nice to have it. And I appreciate it so much. The positive thing about it was just me knowing that I can accomplish anything. And just knowing that, I think it was just that me knowing I can just accomplish anything. Like if I want to do it, I can do it. But then it goes back to you don't need anybody to do what you need to do, like what you want to accomplish, you can do it by yourself. So it's like you said, it's a good and bad thing. It's like mixed in between.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I definitely would have to say I agree with that, because I realize I definitely have a hard time asking for help. And I noticed that with, like a lot of my sisters, where it's like, um, even just yesterday, my friend, she asked her sister to help her, with like taking people in at the door. And I'm so used to her doing everything herself that even I was taken back, like, oh, like, who's this? And I think there is a great part where it's like, okay, I know I can do for myself, but at the same time, I'm not here alone. So I don't have to just do it all for myself. And we're not supposed to do everything on our own, like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. Like, that's okay. It's wonderful to be able to receive the help that you give all the time. And that's something that I've been able to really, like, learn myself in my journey.
I'm glad you said that because I'm like a giver, giver, giver.
Mhm.
Like I like helping people, supporting people. Like that's just one of the things I do. And I noticed I had to pull back because I was giving myself to the wrong people and I wasn't getting anything in return. So that was one of the things I had to work on too, and like my self-discovery and like self-love. Cause I know it's like the more I give or said yes to something, it was taken away from me.
And yes, one thing I learned in this life: never give more than you're willing to receive. Um,
Absolutely.
because that's not balance, that's not reciprocity, and
Mm-hmm.
you will burn yourself out trying to show that, trying to prove that you can do it all, or that you really care, or that you really love this person, or that you really support them. But where would you be without support? Can you give that support without having it for yourself? And no, because one of the oldest proverbs is, be careful when a man without a shirt tries to give you one. I don't think I'm saying that verbatim, but I had to realize that I was the man with no shirt offering shirts.
Oh my, that's
like,
cool.
sis, you naked? Like, what are you doing?
I agree with that.
And
It's like giving and giving when you don't even have nothing to give yourself. Like
yeah,
I have to work on myself before I can give anything.
exactly. Because everything after you fill your own cup is just overflow. And so there's no anxiety, there's no fear, there's no frustration. Like, oh my gosh, I need this and I need this. And it's like, no, now you don't have to feel like bad. Like when you go to church and they say, like, give with a happy heart. Like, don't be giving $100 salty. Like, when you gonna get it back? Like, you should have just gave 10.
Right.
And not overextending yourself. And I think this can also go back to, historically, women have been taken for a lot more than they got. And so kind of learning that you need to give more than you receive because you've been taken for all you've got, if that makes sense. And like like as I was growing up and I kept like hearing stories where it's like, oh, a woman was behind this person and this movement and this, and it's like, what the hell are y'all doing? like is it a woman slave shop worldwide international? Like, what's going on? And I had did a workshop with a nonprofit organization like about a week ago, and I just, I started off really simple. And I was like, well, why do y'all think there's a Women's History Month? And someone said, because women were not appreciated for what they did. And I was like, whoop, there it is.
Pretty
And
much.
yeah, and it's interesting that in all those years of lack of appreciation, that it's psychologically created a mindset where we believe that we need to give more than we receive, but to be in a a current state of society where we're actually seeing women take more ownership of themselves in their lives, where it's like, no, I don't need to do that. I deserve
Mm-hmm.
that, and you can't tell me otherwise. And that's really the true nature of a woman, and coming back into that realization and reality that a woman has every right to say no. She has every right to preserve her peace. She has every right to give what she wants to give, and nothing more and nothing less. And so I'm grateful for this conversation.
Yes. And without guilt.
Yes, like I don't feel bad about telling you no. If you want to try to make me feel bad about telling you no, that's a you problem.
Right?
And and being able to pinpoint that, and like also like teaching young girls like, look, they're gonna say this, but if they do this, just know it's two different things going on here. Be aware. And teaching mindfulness and self-respect, and these things that a lot of times were not instilled in us because we had to learn other things for the sake of survival,
Mm-hmm.
and moving beyond that now. So yes, this is a
That was
wonderful
bars. That was balls. What you just said. That was balls. Okay. That was balls.
yes, but I do want to ask, since you spoke on the women that have inspired you, I want to speak a little bit about the women who've challenged you. So, is there any woman that's like currently in your life, and even if she's not, like, I guess you can still like reference back to that relationship, because I know that we all have that woman in our life who challenges us, and then we're probably thinking like, who is this person? Will I keep them in my life? I feel like they're testing me. Like, and if you have had that experience with any woman that's currently in your life, like, how have you been able to build and rebuild that relationship from whatever this test that this person has brought into your life?
So when you say challenge, like what kind of like challenging me in what way?
Well, I think everybody has their own personal challenges. So I think it's about whoever the first person that comes to your mind, where it's like, oh, that person gave me hell, or that person really gave me a run for my money. Like, but you were able to learn something from that experience, and maybe you were still able to maintain that relationship through having, really serious introspective dialogue. Because I mean, I remember, I'll give you a little example. I remembered I was working at a job, and it was one of those places where it's like, people really hate their job. They don't get paid well. The
Mm-hmm.
organization sucks. The management sucks. People just don't care. And I was working with youth with autism. And there was this one woman in particular, and don't play with me, because I'll read your life. You'll do one thing and I'll know exactly what you've been through. That's me. And so there was like a situation where we had to like restrain a kid, and I don't remember what she did wrong, but she was basically trying to like she was basically like having a conversation with one of the coworkers about, I did this and I did that, I need to not do that. And I had to check her like, look, whatever, but don't speak about me like I'm not sitting here and I can't hear you. And I'm sure for other people that could have went really left. They could have cursed her right back out, said you this and you this and you that. And now we're cool. Like, we're friends. Like, I understand, because I knew that there was something going on within her that she felt like that's the way she needed to express herself. But because I was aware of myself and I was aware of the situation, I was able to articulate like, look, whatever you feel, don't disrespect me. And being able to have that level of self-expression and awareness, I can actually have a real conversation with this person and develop a friendship with her now. And so that was one challenge that I had to go through, because I used to not speak up for myself. I was sitting there thinking like, I could tell her she all types. I could tell her that I know exactly what she's been through, and I know that she went through this and that. And then I was like, let me check my ego. And that was an ego check for me, you know? And so everybody kind of has a different experience. I just want to know, like, you can think of anyone that's giving you like kind of experience. You're like, oh no, I could cut this person right now.
I did have I can think of an experience, and I'm a person that didn't speak up for myself, but this was like maybe a year ago. One of my friends, a person I was just getting to know, I said something that triggered her from a trauma experience. And she was just going off on me. And I do not like, I'll block you or like restrict your account, but you're not blocked. We still follow each other and stuff. And she, I guess, was waiting on my response. And then she texted me and she was like, you didn't have to block me, but it is what it is. I didn't know you were that like weak. And I was like, it wasn't that. It was just me, like what you were doing. It was me take care of myself. And we had a whole text argument, and then we finally just got on the phone and communicated like this. Something I said just triggered her. A post that I posted triggered her. And this is why she responded the way she did. And me, I told her I do not like confrontation or people coming at me at a way that I don't feel like I deserve, so I'll block you. So I think with that situation, communication was key. And I think in what I learned from that situation, like I can't just be blocking people. Like I need to tell people how I feel right away, how they're speaking to me. And I learned that from that situation, which I appreciate a lot. And then just learning that people have their own ways of communicating as well. And yeah, the number one thing with that situation was just communication on both parts, and telling how people to treat you accordingly, pretty much.
And yeah, I as you know, I feel that because I would definitely sounds a lot like, oh really? I'll never speak to you again in life, like, and cool. But then I realized I was actually taking that way of dealing with situations into relationships with people that I I compromised myself because I just couldn't express myself. And if I had expressed myself effectively, I would probably still have this relationship, or the relationship wouldn't have ended in such a way. But, lessons, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, communication in conflict is necessary, because then you can lose a friend or it spirals in something that it wasn't even that serious about.
And just, having that, taking that moment. There was something when I used to go to therapy that my therapist would say, when you don't know the right thing to say, she said, "Wib." I'm like, "Wib." She's like, "Walk away, say a I statement, like I feel, like acknowledge to yourself how you feel, and then breathe." And I was like, "That sounds really good, miss, but in the heat of the moment, do you think I'm gonna just wib?" Like, and it's funny because I don't know where like my best friend came from, what universe she came from, but it was like she naturally knew these therapeutic techniques, and then she would do them to me, and I wouldn't know what the hell was going on. Like I'm ready for it. I'm ready for an immediate answer. I'm ready for an immediate response, because I didn't realize, like, I was so used to growing up in an environment that was like fast, chaotic. You need to be on your toes. You need to respond fast. So I wouldn't stop to think. I would just react. And so understanding the difference between reacting to something and responding, like if you call the 911 and they send the ambulance, it's a response unit. It's not a reaction unit, because what's a reaction going to get us? Probably nowhere. And really understanding, like, okay, these are the tools, like you said, these are the tools that we really need to be aware of so that we can effectively communicate, so we can maintain our relationships, so we can let people know how to treat us, creating those boundaries. And
I
so,
agree.
yeah.
Like, I'm glad you brought up family because that runs in my family, the communication part.
Mhm.
We have an issue, nobody talks about it, and then goes about it like it's a normal day, and it's still simmering, and people are still bothered about it, but nobody's communicated, and then it'll like boil over and come up again, and then it's like a cycle. So I know I get that bad habit from my family, which I am working on.
Mhm. Yeah. It's like, are y'all okay? Like, and that's why, like I said, in the beginning with Voices of Black Power, talking about that trauma when we live in a community where it's like sweep it under the rug. What happens in
Mm-hmm.
this house stays in this house. You just got to move on. And I realized, that it is that post-traumatic slave syndrome. Back in the day, our ancestors, whatever happened, they could have just seen their mate, get ripped away from their family, could have got lynched, could have got castrated. They had to keep going. They were not offered the luxury of, processing their emotions and
Mm-hmm.
crying and journaling and walking away and saying how they feel and breathing. Like, no, you're going to pick this cotton or you're going to mate with your slave master tonight. Like, you got to go. And realizing that that mentality is so deeply embedded in us that even though we know it's not right, it's automatic. And so we'll do it anyway.
I never even thought about that point, but that's so true. So very true when you think about it.
There
I
goes
have a
the
question. I have a question.
yes.
Um, okay, I definitely have a question. So, on for your Instagram videos, can you talk more about affirmations and celebrating yourself? Talk more about that.
um, okay. I like affirmations, like affirmations that just boost yourself up, like affirmations that'll hype you up. I know my favorite one is like, I am unfuckwittable. Like nobody is like, I'm the best at what I do. I am X'Zandria. Like, okay, when I step into the room, I own it. And I just want others to say those affirmations because they definitely work for me when I'm journaling down like who I am, who I want to become, who I will become, and who I desire to be. Um, and I want other people in general, and especially Black women, to say affirmations because I believe like when you speak life into yourself, it'll eventually come true. Because if you're saying like, "Oh, I'm ugly," which I used to tell myself, like, I am just so ugly, like, and I thought I was ugly. And once I started telling myself, X'Zandria, you're beautiful. I love your eyes. Your eyes are very beautiful. Or looking at myself in the mirror and just complimenting myself versus needing to hear it from others. So self affirmations, I believe, are so powerful. I will always tell people to do that. I tell my students that struggle with low self-esteem and the ones that are cocky too, which is nothing wrong with that. Like say your affirmations, speak life unto yourself. And then with the celebration one, I never celebrated myself. I was always waiting for others to celebrate my accomplishments, celebrate like me opening a business or celebrating me like doing my own hair or learning a new style. And when I realized that I didn't need anybody to celebrate me, like I can just celebrate myself. I can throw myself a party. I can meditate for 30 minutes. I can sip some wine, my own, with light a candle, aromatherapy going on. Like and celebrate myself. Like I don't need anybody to do that for me. I would love it, but I can just clap for myself. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't need validation to celebrate something that I know is a huge achievement or just being me, like it's worth celebrating.
Now, talk about more about when you're celebrating yourself. What were your small wins and what was your large wins, and how can people relate to that, and what advice would you give to women?
What's a small win? Well, big win is just waking up in the morning, like getting to see
Let's
another
go.
day.
Say that
So
again.
just
We
Say
on
that
the
again. What you
same
just said.
time, sis.
Hold up.
You read
Say
my
that.
mind. She read my mind. That's what she's a mind reader. She's telepathic. We see you, Xandria.
So just waking up in the morning, like celebrating that, clapping for myself, thanking God for letting me see another day. Like that's a big win. I feel everybody should celebrate every day just to breathe. A small win or a small celebration. Having a job, being able to provide for my family. I don't know if that's a small, like, I don't even think there's a small win. Like, everything is big to me. Like, having a car, my mom still being alive, being able to having a relationship with my mother that's so close, being healthy, prosperous. Like, I don't even know if I would say there's a small win for me. Like, if a small win, it could be doing my makeup the right way. It's like, oh, I finally did it the right way. Like when I finally learned how to do my own makeup instead of having to pay somebody. But I don't think there's a small win for me when you really think about it. And I'm just a super grateful person. So advice I would give to others, just think about things that you probably wouldn't think about, like getting up in the morning, being able to see, being able to read things, your health. Think about the little things that you usually don't think about and celebrate those. Be grateful for those. Acknowledge the things you do have versus what you don't have. Because I think a lot of people focus on what they don't have, or even in this day and age with social media, you see people and their luxury stuff and you think that's it. That's what you need to aspire to. And it's really not. Like, be grateful for what you do have. And yeah, that's all I can say. I don't know if I got a small win because I'm just grateful for everything.
And
That gold pin back there looks like it could be a small one right there.
With this?
Oh, is that a vase?
Yep.
Hey, look, I feel you. Everything is a win, period.
Yeah,
You know,
I like
you gotta
that.
be thankful for the toilet because somebody is
Right?
using a ditch.
That's so true. And I don't think a lot of people think about that type of stuff. I once didn't. Like, I was thinking of what I didn't have all the time versus what I do have.
Yeah, and it happens. It happens to all of us. You know. Did you want to say something else, Rich?
Well, really, just like when you talk about the big wins, when people celebrate their wins, what do you think can be their next move after when they celebrate their wins?
Well, after I celebrate my wins, I write down what I want to happen next. Like when it comes to like career goals, I'll journal down what I want to do next, what my next win I want it to be, what I desire in life. If it's just like celebrating you taking out time for your day, schedule the next time you're gonna take time out for your day. And I think it also just depends on the person, the type of person you are and what you need in that moment or what you want to do in the next moment. Because I don't think I can say, hey, do this or do that, but I can guide you to it. Just figuring out what makes you happy, what makes you balance, what centers you. And I think once you figure out what makes you happy when you're at your happiest is when you'll know what you'll need next and what you need to do next.
I like that.
Oh, that was bars right there. That was bars.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was bars.
This guy over here with this is bars. Now I feel like that's
my favorite.
I feel
That's
like
my
that's a
favorite.
very I feel like that's a very feminine answer in the sense that the way you expressed it acknowledges that we really don't know what's next and we don't need to focus on too much but the moment. And so just being open to receiving what's coming and then be open to foreseeing what may come after, like as if you're in this state of receptivity to your abundance and the experience of it all. So I really like that.
I like the way you said that.
Thank you. Yeah, so if we didn't already touch on it, I wanted to ask you, like, what's been a challenging part of, like, womanhood for you, and then Black womanhood, because I think we can definitely say, like, just we could all relate as just being women, that there are experiences we have just being women that we can all relate to, and then there's being a Black woman, and we know that that creates a completely different experience for us. So yeah.
I think for a woman in general, like, the society standards of what a woman is supposed to be, like, she's supposed to be modest, and she can't be modest and show off her body at the same time. And for me, I think that was a struggle, because I would want to wear certain outfits and I'm like, okay, I can't. Or my grandma was like, no, you need to be a lady, but I'm still a lady even if I'm wearing something revealing. There's nothing changing that. And then that goes into, like, the Black women, like, for me being, like, over-sexualized, very over-sexualized, like, because I formed out in my body quick, hips and all that. And I think just owning my body, and if I want to wear an outfit, I can wear it. There's nothing wrong with that. And I still am deserving of respect. I'm still modest. I'm still a lady, and I'm still respectable. So that was the first thing that popped in my head with that question.
Yeah, and that's definitely huge, because other women that are not Black they're not over sexualized like us. So the fact that you even said, like, bringing it back to, like, what one wears, and then having that difference between, like, okay, like, if a white woman wears this, if a Asian woman wears this, and if a Hispanic woman, they kind of have it on the same side as us as far as being over sexualized, but they kind of, I guess, fetishize it for them more, like it's hot if they do it, and then if we do it,
it's too much.
It's too much. It's slutty. So yeah, that's the only difference I would be able to say with, like, that part. But going across the spectrum, seeing how the response would be different if these different type of women wore the same thing. And I'm out, and maybe you've seen it before. They've definitely done, like, I've definitely seen, like, posts where it's like, oh, how did this person wear? How did that person wear it? And based on who wear it, it's either classy or trashy.
Yep.
It's sophisticated or it's sexy. And
it's trendy.
And it's funny. It's funny because I had my best friend bring up something to me that I really didn't think about. She said that she didn't like her boyfriend calling her sexy because she heard, I don't know if she heard a man or a woman say this, but she said she heard them say, like, men call their cars beautiful, but women sexy. And when she put it like that, I was like, well, damn. Does that mean we're just sexual objects, and even an object has some type of upper hand on me? Like, that. And it really made me think about the nature of a compliment, or where is it coming from? Like, is it coming from here, or is it coming from down here? And yeah, really tuning into that aspect of being a woman is, I would definitely agree with exactly what you said. Like, I've had my mom be like, oh, you shouldn't wear that, and no, that's not this, and I just want to be. But then, what were the experiences that they went through that would make them say that too, So
I had a friend tell me, like, she didn't like to be called chocolate because it's compared to, like, food, like dark skin chocolate. And I was like, I never thought about that. And I'm like, they are comparing my skin complexion to a piece of food, like a snack. So
damn, well, now I'm gonna have a question. Like, you trying to say you want to eat me now? Don't get me going too deep now. Don't get me going, because Diamond knows I get deep. Like, don't get me thinking like that. I'll be like, well, what you trying to say? Like, I'm food? I'm just edible to you. Oh, okay. Like, because I used to run with stuff. I would not know how to act, you know. I have a revelation, the whole world has changed and shifted. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it just depends too, you know, like, because like I said, my best friend gave me that revelation. I really didn't think about it like that. I thought sexy was good. I'm like, okay. But then you realize you're so used to hearing something being passed as if it's a compliment that you start to think that, well, maybe it is, like, you know. And yeah, we can go on and on about that, but I want to ask you another question. I want to ask you another question. So what experiences as a Black woman has given you the awareness that you need, the awareness that you want to be a vessel for their empowerment?
Imposter syndrome.
Mm.
Just feeling like, I can say I sometimes get that feeling too, like I'm still working on that. Like when I enter a room, not feeling like you're enough. And when I enter a room now, like I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be here. I do my little mantra, amp myself up. And I think a lot of Black women probably have imposter syndrome, feeling like they're not where they're supposed to be. I feel that way when I go into a room full of white people and I'm the only Black person there. But then I also tell myself, okay, I gotta make room for the next Black woman or the Black girl that's coming up after me. So I would say just that. I hope I answered the question.
This is not, hey, I am not a professor grading you on your response. I am here with you. You're giving me revelations. There is nothing you can say wrong. Trust me. But I wasn't expecting you to say imposter syndrome, so you actually kind of caught me off guard. But I think that's a very real thing. Just not like based on society standards that, you know, especially being, you know, Black, that, okay, you can only go this far. And so when you step outside of the box that they have created for you, it almost seems like this, surreal, like, this can't be. Is this a punked episode in my life? You know, like, just that programming that you are not capable or strong enough to be in this position, and so you being here is somehow fraudulent. And it just speaks very deeply to the mindset, and, you know, how us as, you know, melanated people have been mentally brainwashed, and then us as women have been mentally brainwashed. So two types of brainwashings that you have to overcome, being Black and woman in those spaces. And it's yes, I definitely feel where you're coming from with that. I definitely feel where you're coming from with that. It is something that you do have to you know, affirm yourself through, you know. It's definitely something you have to affirm yourself through. So thank you for sharing that. And what else did I want to ask you? Okay, so you may have kind of touched on this, but if in case we could use some more clarity, I want to ask, how do you show up for yourself that you consider a requirement for anybody in your life to show up for you? You know,
Support is like huge for me.
yeah.
I support myself, but I love when others do it too. Like, and then if I celebrate you, you need to be celebrating me. You need to be there for those events. Because I do the same thing. Like, I'm huge on support. So I think, no, that is my number one. Support me. Another thing, like asking for help. I like when people ask, how can I help you? Because I'm not good at saying, can you help me do this, or asking people for help. So support is very, very huge for me. And I require that of my family. and my friends are anybody that's in that is privileged to be around me. So yeah.
Yes, that part's privileged. This is, I wrote that in a poem yesterday, so you're just obviously in tune with my spirit. Because we are not promised, we are a privilege. And so,
Mm-hmm.
recognizing like my presence is doing you service. So you
Right.
need to be of service, because that's your love language, giving, and being that for people which maybe they're not able to be for themselves. But all I'm asking in return is that if I need you to show up for me, just be there.
Yep.
And I think, I feel like I'm the same exact way. Like, I really don't ask for much. So when I ask for
Right.
help,
Show up.
like if I'm asking you for help, like you can't do it, I don't know what we doing. Like,
I feel like everyone in your life should have like a benefit to you. I know some people like it, you don't need to have a benefit, or you don't have to give me something to be like, yeah, like if what are you here for if it's not benefiting each other?
yeah.
It can't just be one way where one person's elevated and the other ones just continue to take and take and take.
And I think people who say that they don't need to benefit from anybody, I think they're in like a twisted denial. Like, I don't know who tricked you, but
For real.
the veil has lifted from thine eyes, and I see that God has ordained reciprocity. Okay. And so if, like you said, it should be mutually beneficial. At the end of the day, we all have something to offer, and we all, as nature is constantly growing in some way. We should be growing together with these offers that we have, that we can share and make our lives better, of course, and then the people around us, because when we become better, we inspire and empower those other people to be better. So, like Lauryn Hill said, anything that's not growing is dead.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so I'm gonna turn the tables, X'Zandria. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, that's that. I like that flip. I like that flip. What you just did. I like that flip. Okay.
Let me think. How did you get in touch with yourself spiritually to empower yourself? Because I hear you talking about it through this whole interview, and I was just interested in that.
Okay, I'm glad I asked you then. Yeah, so I've kind of always been like very black sheepish. Can't think of a better way to put it. Like I've always just been like a knowledge seeker, a truth seeker, like just kind of feeling like things are not what they seem. And so it was definitely like 2014. I was really close to this guy at the time, and he had been, I guess, really close to this guy who had this book called The Holy Tablets. And it basically was like, the best way I can put it is like the other Bible. And it's a sacred text, because there are many sacred texts. But the one that we tend to focus on, especially in like the Black community, is the Bible. And so I kind of felt like, there were missing pieces of the puzzle. And so it was like, I kind of manifested him, to bring me this information, which really helped me kind of open myself up more spiritually. And at that point in time, I was having like, to me then, when I was in that space, I just thought like, my life was flipped upside down. But what I was really encountering was like real life demons, possession. Like I was seeing the spiritual realm, quote unquote, on a whole nother level. And at the time, I really didn't understand what I was experiencing with these people, but I realized that it was kind of like God just waking me up to my purpose. And so after that, I had went like vegan vegetarian for a while, because he basically shared this information with me about like what meat does to the body, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And it scared me. I was like, oh my God, this is what the food that we eat or are accustomed to eating and have been told is, okay for us to eat, really does to us. And so that was really a major part of my shift, because I was able to kind of let go of this aspect of myself that I thought that I would die with. And so that was kind of the first thing that really catapulted me into my spiritual journey. And, after that, I kept having these very like challenging relationships, especially with men. And they were making me look at where my life was going in a way where it's like, no, this is not right. This is beneath me, in the sense that I can do better than this. And I think that I'm here to learn something from this, which is why like because I kept attracting people that were really traumatized. And only for me to really tap into like, okay, no, I'm traumatized too. And I have a healing energy that people are attracted to, which is why I keep attracting them. But I didn't have any boundaries. I didn't know how to speak up for myself, and I didn't know myself. And so he pretty much, 2014 really catapulted me into the space that I am now, because I know a lot of women that do different types of healing practices that, maybe like 5-10 years ago, y'all are doing witchcraft. We don't know what's going on, but now even the mainstream society is getting onto this, because they know our ancestral teachings, they know our practices, and they know what has healed our ancestors in the past. This is the information that was kept from us so that we would not, rise to our highest powers, as melanated people. And so, yeah, it really, reading, like research, I'm a knowledge junkie. Which is good and bad, because I had to realize, like you said earlier, knowledge without application won't take you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, starting to really take it in, yes, but applying it to my life. I met somebody again like a few years ago that I used to work with, and I had to tell them, I'm like, you don't know me anymore. That person that I was when I met you, I'm not that person. I'm an entirely different being. And so, yeah, I'm definitely a knowledge seeker. I would definitely say I'm a knowledge seeker and a healer. And so that's why I speak like this and am like this. Yes.
I love that. What stuck out to me when you said that are you still vegetarian?
Actually, no. So I fell back into like eating meat maybe a year ago. So now I'm just kind of like recognizing why that happened, accepting that like I have an addiction to food, like that's my thing. And yeah, it really hit me when my aunt had passed away and I went down south to my dad's family, and I saw like the same food that put my aunt in the grave was still on our plates. And it just really hit home, like, okay, I am totally in control of my life. I know what I know. I can act like I don't know what I know, but my mind, my body, my spirit are fully aware that I am aware. And so just practicing on, being more disciplined. Like I need more discipline in that area. But I will say that that lifestyle of eating, like fasting, being vegetarian or vegan, what have you, or just being more conscious of how I consume my food, has healed my body in a way where it's like I'm gonna have to write a book about it. Like,
Oh, I like that.
yes, because we don't really realize that when we eat heavy foods, we're making ourselves heavy in mind, in body, and spirit. And so when we have that sort of weight with us, it makes it difficult for us to tap into the higher frequency and the vibration. Whereas the spiritual realm, it's not hard for us to tap into, because our melanin gives us that extra capacity to, really have those powers that are like quote unquote movie scenes. But when you learn science and history and you understand that melanin is literally in everything in the universe, even out in the spaces, because melanin is darkness and there's like infinite darkness right out in space. And so recognizing that that is within me and without me, because as above so below, that when I discipline myself and I learn to fast and I learn to meditate and I learn to pray on a regular basis, I'm going to have a different level of access to my natural powers.
I like that. I asked that because I just went I call it lacto-ovo vegetarian. Like I still do milk and cheese. And I actually prayed to God, like I really want to become a vegetarian because I want to be mindful of what I'm putting into my body.
Yeah.
So I like that you said that. I really do.
Yes, and more power to you, because especially now, this food has become so artificial.
Oh my
They
goodness,
are just,
yes.
yeah, this, I don't want to say too much because we're still on Facebook, but it is just not, the world is not what it used to be. A lot of things are artificial and they are against our nature. And so I know that you will be able to receive that and understand that. So yes, you will find your nature with God always.
I have a question. So I definitely have, because I know we're pressed on time. So I have a question for both. So going back to the ebook, 5 Mistakes to Avoid on Self-Discovery journey. So first, I wanna touch base on what mistakes have you made in your self journey, and how is that like? Oh, okay, this is a not only this is something that mistakes has been done, so I know what to do on my next on the process of my life. Talk more about that.
The number one mistake for me is time, giving away my time. I used to always make time for others and not make time for myself. And when I started journaling, like, why am I not having enough time for myself? Why do I always feel like I'm going and doing stuff for others, nobody doing stuff for me? And that goes into saying no too. And time you cannot get back. Time is very huge for me. I value my time and I want others to value it. So when people make appointments to do stuff with me, like, you need to be on time. You need to be on time and let me know if you're not going to make it or not, because that's time I cannot get back. Being intentional with my time, like, okay, what am I going to do today for me, or like, what's going to happen today? And it works for me to use a planner to be more intentional with my time. And also, I was giving away my time to people who didn't deserve it, realizing that, and I wanted more time with my family. So I ended up getting that when I let go of giving my time to other people or doing things that I didn't even want to do. I was just saying yes to be nice and being like a supportive friend. So time is the number one for me.
Oh, okay. That was deep. That was deep,
I
definitely.
feel like she knows my life. Like, don't be coming here telling everybody my business like this. That's why I straight up came through. Like, I apologize, because time, that's all you have. And even there was a video that was posted with, like, who said it? I don't know if it was Kevin Gates. It was one of these, celebrities. And, they said, like, if you want to be wealthy or something like that, be on time. because you don't know who's gonna be there. You don't know whose time you're wasting. You don't know whose time you're disrespecting. And I literally, it's ironic that I'm late because I had a meeting today and this person we discussed like, okay, I have this to do at this time. So, like this is the time I have. We're supposed to meet at this time. How you gonna call me after you told me you was on your way and tell me to come somewhere when you were supposed to be here? And then you try to manipulate the situation by saying XYZ. No, you're disrespecting my time. Are you gonna compensate me for my time for doing this? Because I don't understand how you don't understand that we had an agreement. And if I didn't go through everything I went through, I would have literally dropped XYZ and then went. But I'm like, no, this is my time. This is my business. Like, if you couldn't follow through, that's okay. Just say that. But don't try to deceive me. Like, but you just said you were 20 minutes away. Oh, now I need to come somewhere. You got me twisted, boo-boo. You got me twisted. And yeah, I definitely, I totally understand. I remember when I started taking my time back, people were mad at me. They was like, how, what do? You don't have time? Like, because I'm so used to giving you something without asking for anything in turn or even thinking about myself, that now you don't understand that I have every right to tell you no.
Yep. Same.
So
And then also charging
about.
for my time accordingly too.
I let him know. I was like, $300. What's up? You gonna give me $300? Because that's what I'm about to miss messing with you. And and you know what? It's all good because I'm just so grateful. Because that was another part of like my journey, like understanding time is sacred.
It is.
And I'm so upset because I got a call and that might have been my lawyer, but they're gonna have to wait. So yeah.
Okay. So another question I have. So talk about more of because I want to also touch base on this. What made you X'Zandria? Am I saying it right? I'm sorry. X'Zandria. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Okay, so what made you? And I think Miss Wisdom is definitely going to love this. What made you want to, as an entrepreneur as you are, what made you want to be like, okay, here it is that I'm going to teach you how to raise Black children? Can what made you say like, all right, listen, this is something that needs to get done, and talk about more of what made you in this process of what made you see this to be like, okay, now it's time for me to do this so people can be enlightened and be teach by this.
So what made me want to do a course for non-Black parents raising Black children or adopting Black children was because a passion of mine is foster care. And I used to always get the questions of how do you take care of Black hair? Like, what am I supposed to do? Or just even seeing like the ignorance of it all of raising a Black child. Like, why aren't you taking this Black child to a Black barbershop? There's no cost cutters for a Black boy, especially. It was just like, and even white adoptive parents coming to me and ask me like, what should I do? A question like, oh, there's this white transracial adoptive parents, they're teaching how to raise Black children. Should I go? You already know the answer to that. Why are you even asking me? Make it make sense. It's a lot of Black women out here and Black people in general teaching stuff about how to raise Black children or educate on Black people things, history and all of that. So I just wanted to make a course teaching that. It's simple course, but not so simple. Like, hey, this is what you need to do in the home. Black children need to see Black representation. This is how you do it. You need to not be scared to go into the Black communities and take your
Now
Black
you
children there so
preaching.
they can see Black people. You shouldn't just have whiteness around them all the time. That's not good. I don't think it's good for their mental health or just their self-esteem in general. You need to be advocating for the advancement of Black people in your community and around the world. Like, use your white privilege that you have to benefit your Black children that you're raising. Keep them connected to their culture, because your white culture is not Black culture. It'll never be their Black culture. And having them understand, knowing that their white privilege will not protect them in white America when they're not with them. So it really was just to empower the Black children that they are raising, and for Black children to love themselves versus not loving themselves because they're surrounded by whiteness all day, most likely.
That was yo. Man, this wisdom. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it, Miss Wisdom. Uh,
Honestly, I think she said everything that needed to be said. Representation, like representation is just what you see, like the phrase, people don't believe it until they see it. So if what you're always seeing is the antithesis of you, then how can you believe in you?
Mm-hmm.
You don't believe yourself. You don't believe in yourself because you don't see yourself and nobody's showing you. So yeah, we just need more sisters like you. So please start a mentorship program when you can, and mentor these young women. Yes, because you know what you're talking about. You know what you're
Thank you.
talking
I
about.
appreciate that a lot. I really do.
And yeah, and you know what? That's just it. Like, people just need to like have that understanding. Like, look, we all have something to offer, and you can only touch so many people. I can only touch so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I can only touch so many people, and maybe people won't like my personality. Maybe people won't like your personality or
Yep.
Diamond's personality. That's fine. I'm gonna give somebody these resources and tools so they can go forth and create the good domino effect and make it all come full circle, because this is just the facts, you know?
Yeah. I like that, the domino effect.
y'all
Oh yeah.
preaching today. Y'all preaching today.
I look for the examples, I'll tell you that. Because when nothing else I say makes sense, I'm like, okay, let's go back to a phrase or an example.
That works the best for me too.
Yeah, I think
Examples
I
and
was a
metaphors.
teacher in a past life. Yeah, I think I was a teacher in a past life. Had to be. But yes, this is such a wonderful conversation. I feel like we really hit on a lot of great like topics and questions, and you really did give us some really great answers and some really great dialogue. So if unless there's anything else, Diamond wants to ask or touch on, I feel like we did a great thing today.
Absolutely. I'm very grateful for a Black woman. I want to say that definitely. Word. I'm grateful.
You ought to be.
Right?
We're not even gonna play humble about it. Like, you ought to be.
So, so if so once we get to a conclusion, get your social media and your final thoughts. Once we get to a conclusion, but Miss Wisdom, I'm gonna just let you have it all. And then after we can get the social media and conclusion for our guests.
Yeah. I can go on for days to be honest. So
We still got time. We still got time. We good.
yeah. Was there any other topic that you would like to hit on, X'Zandria?
Um,
Or something maybe you didn't get to share that you would like the audience to know?
I would like to share like journaling. I'm a real advocate for journaling. Like that helped me a lot in my I like that. That helped me a lot with building my confidence, releasing things that were in my mind. Like I don't think it's good to have your thoughts running wild. Like just write them down, even if they don't make sense. It helped a lot. Journaling has helped me get closer with God because I do not understand what the Bible is saying sometimes, and I have to break it down. And so conversations with God about a certain scripture helps a lot. So if you're on your self-discovery journey or self-love journey or whatever it may be, writing it down, keeping a journal is so good. It's especially nice to even go back and read what you wrote or to see how it manifested or seeing how you grew and elevated. And so definitely journal. I'm excited that I'm creating a journal for Black women, specifically a guided journal. And I'm excited about that in the future. So that's all I wanted to say.
So you just got me started. Why you do that? This is like my 7th journal. I don't need, what did I? Yeah, this is like my 7th journal over like the course of several years. And you're so right. Because my mind, like I told you, I'm a knowledge junkie. So you know it's mad stuff going on up here. And so I just real life, like I really talk to myself. I've written letters to people. I've told other people, because like I do readings too. And like I'll realize like some people, they just need to get it off their chest. Like you're holding on to stuff that happened like 5 years ago. You shouldn't even be holding on to what happened 5 days ago. Like people just don't know how to let go and let God move on. And journaling has like, it's just made my life so much better. Like I'll go back and read something. I'm like, oh my God, that's how I was living. That's how I was giving it up. Oh my goodness. I've grown so much. And it shows you, it's like, it shows you how far you've come, how you used to think, you know, and like I've gone back and read like letters to myself, which I should definitely read more. Like writing love letters to yourself is so important. Like, because if you don't write you a love letter, who you gonna wait for to write you a love letter? Like, girl, write yourself a love letter. And it's so powerful because like I remember going to an Erykah Badu concert. This is how I knew Erykah. I mean, I knew Erykah was my sis, but going to her concert confirmed. And one of the things she was saying towards the end of her concert, like after she was kind of like encouraging people to just be in the moment and like put down their phones and just be present. And she started talking about writing and spelling and casting spells and how when we write, we're casting spells. And I'm like, yes, it's that deep. It is that deep. You literally are writing your life. And I was just like, what? I started writing stuff. I go back, I'm like, oh, snap. I'm good. And I saw on your page that you said that you definitely did that with the Bible, because I've definitely read stuff in the Bible, and I've also like taken to that, like, okay, I don't know what's going on. Like, let me write what I think is going on and be open to like God giving me the inspiration and the spirit of the word to really understand it, because this ain't making no sense. Like, what are you saying here? And the Bible's coded, and you know, like even in the Bible it says like this knowledge will not be made known to everyone, only for those who the Spirit will come through. And so it's like, oh yeah, you really gotta, it also teaches you, writing teaches you patience. Whereas it's like, okay, I may have written this today and I may not believe it today, but I can believe it a month from now, or I can manifest it a month from now, or I won't be in it a month from now, whatever it is, you know, however you're going about the writing. So I just love that you said that. because I'm the advocate for journaling. I will buy your journal. Like, send me the link, okay?
I will too. So I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay, yes.
That
I'm
was
so-
it for me.
Yes. I love it. If you have any final remarks, please share and tell them where to find you, how to support you, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. If there's anything beyond that these young folks got going on, I don't know, Divine, Snapchat, what's that new thing? TikTok, your website, all of that.
So everything, like I'm on TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and it's X'Zandria Weil, my first and last name. And even for my website, it's xzandriawild.com. So it's simple. So that's all for my social medias. And to get the ebook, you have to go to my Instagram profile and just click the link in the bio, and it's free. And I want to say thank you for having me. Thank y'all. I really enjoyed this. I was super nervous, but it wasn't nothing to be nervous about at all.
I'm so glad. Thanks. We really loved having you.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see like what else you have coming after and following you and what you have going on. So, check out for me. I'll be in your DMs.
All right.
Yo, that was wonderful. Go ahead, Miss Wisdom. You got it. You got it, Miss Wisdom. Go ahead.
I'll let you take out Mr. Diamond Cash incentives.
Okay. So is there anything coming up for you? Is there anything that Black women needs to know before we close out that you got going on?
Nope, not right now. Just that journal that's coming in the future, but it don't got a time and a date, but I need to put a time and a date on it, but it's coming.
Stamps. Stamps. Uh-huh. Stamps. Man, okay. What's going on? All right, thank you so much. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, this is episode 22, y'all. Yeah. And I'm gonna just let Ms. Wisdom give the last words, and after that, we out.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody who tuned in today, who listened to Miss X'Zandria Weil. Please do follow her. She's about empowerment, inspiration. She's affirming herself. She's going to affirm you too. So even just following her on her journey, I know will inspire you and empower you to embrace your own. So please do that. If you'd love to follow me, Phonetic Wisdom on, Instagram, Twitter, I think, TikTok. Okay. And I'm working on my website, so that's a work in progress. And there's many things going on, and because my calendar is not in front of me, I don't want to lie about what's coming next. So I will keep y'all posted via social media. And thank you again for tuning in. I can't wait to see y'all for the next one. Peace, love, and revolution. Yes.
Peace out, y'all.